Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is a little video in response to the burning question that's been going around on this particular site saying, is vintage gear overrated and overpriced? Well, this is my argument to no to both of those suggestions. Over here we have a modest collection of some vintage amps. I'm going to start with this one. A little Italian model I picked up. Traded it to a friend for an amp that was not very Harp friendly. I was asking 300 bucks for the amp, so we can say that I got this for 300 or less. Little 5-watt, extremely light little amp with 8-inch speaker and vibrato, and it sounds just lovely. It's like this. Mess around with the tone a little bit and change the more treble you add, the more bite it's got, obviously. About to go deaf here. This little thing really is loud. See, here come the cops that take me away. But you pack the bass on, you can turn it on almost to the maximum. By the way, it's the same color, so maybe you think there's a Kinder AFB here. It is not. It's a signal splitter, so I can fool with all these amps at once without changing cables. Yeah, let's hear this thing one more time with a bit of digital delay. Wow, there you go. 300 bucks. It's from the late 60s, early 70s, something like that. Great machine. I like it. I'll turn them down now. Delay off. Second, we're going to come over to this thing. Sorry, folks. Bam. Bam. Over there. This is Dynacord KV10 from about the early 50s, 53, 54. 10 watts. Get some delay now. Add a lot of filter, crank it all the way up, tends to mellow it out a bit. And cause feedback, how about that? Ain't that a miracle? I have to say, you're acting funny today, baby, because normally like that I can crank it up. I'll show you a little trick with that later on. Now, this amp here, let me knock that up so you can have a look there. It's an old radio that a friend of mine built an amp into using the old chassis and everything. It's a little 5-watt amp in here with 2 Weber speakers. And it's got a selector over here, a wattage selector. I can put it to 1 watt, 3 watts, or the full 5. I'm going to leave it on 3 because it actually, I think it sounds best on 3. Here, without the delay. Back to the delay, I like it better. Now, he estimated the cost of building this amp and putting the speakers in without any labor costs involved at about 500 bucks. Now, that's pretty much in line with what you'd pay for a lot of these new 5-watt amps. And I think this one sounds just titties, you know, it's just about as loud as you really need or could expect from a 5-watt amp. And now, I got to tip you up again here. And down there, I'm not going to demo this today because the tubes went a little chimey on it and it's ringing like a bell. But this one here is my little rat amp, I call it. I got it for about 100 euros, 89 euros, and it needed new power tubes. It's an EL84 amp, which I know isn't everybody's favorite, but this one is the exception to the rule. Volume and a master volume, treble, middle, bass. 20 watts, 17 watts if you want to get technical. But it's been to many gigs, and I made a few recordings with it. Delay, it's and I could probably even get more volume out of it with a little scream here. Right there on the border, but that's a pretty decent amp for about 100 bucks. Well, let's say with the tubes, 120. No, that's not right. 150, because I got some decent ones. So this is all vintage gear. That's from the, I would estimate from the late 70s, early 80s or something like that, but really no idea. This was a hand-built one. It's a replica, you know, it's not bad. 500 bucks. That's the most expensive one I got there. This one, like I said, 300. Now you can't see it. I guess I'll crank this one on. It's a little chimey right now, so I'm going to apologize for that ahead of time. But just plug straight into it. I unplugged it too. Make room for that one. Well, so you're not going to hear it at all. But for those of you who maybe wondering like I did, since I have the signal splitter hooked up and all these amps are hot, what if I just what would it sound like if we played them all at once? I couldn't help but wonder myself. Sounds something like this. But enough of that. So, by the way, the microphone was this little Geloso with a Kai DM14 element in it. My favorite mic. B flat, Seidel silver. And I'd have to say, I wouldn't overrate this gear at all. I think it's priceless. I think it sounds great. Sounds as good as anything new I've heard. I know people go crazy over champs, and they sound good, but I've seen them drowned out plenty of times. And I think these sound as good or better. That's my opinion. But overrated? No, I wouldn't say so. And overpriced? None of these amps was over 500. Most of them weren't even over 4. And a few of them, like the little black one down there, haven't even cost me as much as 200 yet. So that's my take on it. Thanks for listening. Bye.